Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of January, 2021, and you are now in session IJ3, and you should have your journalism notebook open. You should also have your screen split so that you can not only see what I'm talking about, but be able to make notes as we go. Your I can statement today is I can take on the role of the observer to write about events I was a part of or witnessed. So, right now, we're talking about you noticing what's going on around you, paying close attention to those details. In class today, we're going to look at the Learn About It activity, which is nothing more than adding to your anchor chart that we started on Tuesday. Remember, there were two things on there yesterday, and today I'm going to add two more to it. The what comes next ties into your homework under assignment, so I will be doing those two things together. And your other assignment is your discussion thread, the discuss it activity. And there you will be responding to a prompt as well as replying to someone else's comment. And remember, when you reply to someone else's comment, you need to be specific and informative. If I look at your reply and I do not see the other person's comment, I should still know what they said. So you need to include that in your reply. Make sure you do that. All right, so let's move ahead quickly here because I do have a lot to say, and you may want to stop this video a couple of times so that you can make sure you're getting down what you need to, and you might have to rewind as well. So let me go quickly this way because it will definitely be faster if I go to, let's see if I can find it. That's not the one I want. I want this one. Here we go. Nope, that's not the one I want either. Okay, so we'll try again. Bear with me. I have so many things open here, it's not even funny. I did have to change your lesson around quite a bit, so it was a little difficult for me today, which is why this video is late, by the way. It's still Tuesday, though, so I'm still okay. So in Canvas, in your modules or in your assignments, you will see the Learn About It. And this is just an extension of the anchor chart. You already have to write a news story, journalists find drama. We talked about that. We also have they use a journalistic tone and write in third person. Today we're going to add journalists observe, not just the event, but the context of the event. All that means, and I want you to write this in your notebooks, context equals why. When I say what's the context of what's going on, I'm really asking you why are they doing what they're doing? So when you're observing an event, you also need to know why that event is happening, what's going on. And you're listening to what people are saying around you because you might be able to use their quotes in your story. Quotes, remember, are a primary source. You studied primary sources in social studies class, I'm sure. And a primary source is one of the most powerful sources you can find. So when you get a quote from someone who's actually a part of what's going on, that's a really strong piece of information to use in your story. And the other thing you're going to write down today is to capture the 5 W's. And I know you've heard that and heard it and heard it and heard it, and you're going to keep hearing it because it's one of the most important parts of journalism. Every time you write a story, I want you to write down those 5 W's and then fill in the blank. Tell me who, tell me what, tell me where, tell me why, tell me when, and tell me how. So that you know that it's in your story. Don't just assume it is, check and make sure. You may want to stop the video and write some of this down. I will be looking in your notebooks to see if you have it, by the way. At the bottom, it says that journalists follow these steps And I'm going to go over these just kind of briefly, but you're going to sift through the witnessed events and choose the ones that are really interesting to whatever community you're writing for. Like I said, there's a lot of facts, but they're not all interesting. We talked about interesting versus important. Sometimes they're not interesting, but sometimes they are. But important facts are what you're looking for. The interesting facts can go to the bottom. If you need to make your story longer, you take those interesting facts and put them in at the bottom somewhere. But at the top, you only want important facts. And then think about how you would start your story, keeping in mind the journalist's creed of being concise or brief and talking in third person. You're not going to start your story out, well, what happened was I saw this guy walking across the street. Not one single word of that is important, except maybe this guy walking across the street. Maybe. But there's a much stronger way to say it. A 27-year-old man was walking across the street yesterday when he got struck by a tractor. Now we have action, we have power, we have information. We know how old the person was. We know it was a man. We know what happened. We know where it happened. We know when it happened. All of that in one sentence. Be concise. Then you're going to explain it later. You always explain it, but up front, all you're going to do is just give us those facts. So people go, oh, wow, I got to read on. What else happened? What happened to him? How is he? Is he okay? Did he die? Did he get hurt? If he got hit by a tractor, he probably got hurt. So then people start thinking, the wheels in their mind start spinning. You've piqued their interest. So think about how you're going to start that story. Make sure that you hook the reader. Then, again, check those 5 W's and write like that journalist that you know you can be. All right, and the other thing that I want to talk to you about is your homework, and they are tied together. Let's look at what comes next and your homework. So let's look at what comes next. What comes next is in your notebook. You should be, as I said, on session 3. And if you're on the session 3 slide, you're going to add another slide today, because the next slide is session 4, and we're not going to be on session 4. We're going to be on session 3. But you're going to include your homework, your story that you're going to write. You're going to include it in session 3. Remember, in session 1, let me go back up and I will show you. Down. Okay, so you inserted a slide in session 1 to write your story and turn in that link. That's what you're going to do again. So when you come down here to session 3, you're going to go to slide, new slide, click here to add title, and write session 3 homework. I'd have to stretch that out just a little bit so that it'll fit, but there. Okay, so here's where you're going to write your story. So once you have that set up, I want you to go back to the assignment. Not that one. Okay, so you're going to go back to your assignment where it says homework. You'll click on homework, or In Canvas, you can go to assignments and you'll see it there, session IC or IJ3 homework. In there at the bottom, you're going to see a link to this presentation. Now, what I want you to do is watch this presentation before you do anything else. It's important that you pay close attention because there's a lot here, and you're going to have to look at this probably a couple of times as well. So I'm going to go through this and then I will show you the assignment. Just give it a second to load. We will be right with you. Okay, so we're talking about story structure today and the power of the press. You have no idea how powerful the press is. It influences the way most of us think on a daily basis, um, even though we don't want to admit it. So, as you're writing today, you are going to be following the guidelines in this presentation. Make sure that you're paying close attention. Write this in your notebook. You can choose to use the fairy tale option or any other real events that you have witnessed. That means it's open season. Anything you want to use that you've witnessed, any point in your life, if there's something in your life that really stands out and you want to write about that, you're more than welcome to. But remember, it's not about you. You have to change you to a 6-year-old boy or a 12-year-old girl or give him the person a name, but it can't be about you. It is not first person. If you can't think of anything to write about, then use the fairy tale option. Today, I'm asking you to only write the first paragraph of your story. That means you're going to write the most interesting thing that you learned when researching that story. Set the stage, that's the context, the why for the readers. Use the details to describe what's going on, where the story happens, what the person's doing, what they look like, maybe, what they're saying. You don't have to have all of that, but those are recommendations. So, only paragraph 1 of your story today. Only paragraph 1. So, I'm going to skip the next 2 slides. That's paragraph 2 and 3. We'll talk about those on Thursday. So, your story is going to be written in your notebook. You're going to have at least 3 paragraphs and include those 5 W's and the how. Pay attention to the structure discussed in this lesson. I've already said that. I'm going to repeat it because you're not going to do it. So here we go to the fairy tale section. If you want to use a fairy tale like I did the other day, remember I used, why can I never remember? Little Red Riding Hood. But I turned it into a news event. In your session 3 homework page, you're going to write your story. Now, if you want to use a fairy tale, I've included these read alouds. You have Goldilocks, you have Snow White, you have Jack and the Beanstalk, Yi Shen, Pinocchio, and Cinderella. Now, if you want to use a different fairy tale, if you have a different favorite fairy tale you want to use, you're more than welcome to do that as well. I put these in here as read alouds because I think it'll be easier for you to take notes. And before you even start listening to the story, I would write down who, what, when, where, why, and how. And as those events occur in the story, jot them down. Make notes on your story before you start writing. Then decide which of those pieces you want to include in your first paragraph. The first paragraph is the only one I want you to write today, and that's what you will turn in. So let's go back to Let's go back to our main page. If you look under assignments, and let me switch over to student view for you. Scroll down and you will see session 3 homework. That's what we're looking for, session 3 homework. So in essence, what it says here is that you're going to write a story. It can be one that you've already written and you want to clean it up and make it better. It can be a new one about something that you witnessed or experienced, or it can be a fairy tale. Only choose one. I would like you to write at least a page total, which a lot of you think sounds like a lot, but remember in your notebook, you're writing in 48-point font. That's 4 times the size you normally write in, so it shouldn't be a problem. Remember to write like a newscaster. No first person. No passive work. No, I'm going to tell you that, or let me explain, or well, I guess it was. None of that. We need to be strong, firm, confident, and brief. Write like a newscaster. In total, you'll write at least 1 page, but today you're only writing the first paragraph. Then you're going to copy the link to that page and you will upload it here. This is the link to that presentation I just showed you. So it's right there. Make sure that you watch it again and again if you have to, so that you're clear and you understand what you have to do. Only write the first paragraph today. Paragraphs 2 and 3 will come on Thursday. I hope that's clear. The other thing that I would like to talk to you about today, and I'm going to go back to assignments. I've had a few questions and I want to make sure that everyone understands. With your Greek and Latin homework, there are some sections that some people were not clear about, and I want to make sure you understand. So the odd is the one we're using this week, AUD. And remember, all of this is due Friday at midnight. At 12:01, it becomes a 0. So in your Cami, you're going to see a couple of things. One of them, let me scroll up to C. Here it says which word does not belong. So you have the word audible, and then you have volume, sound, ears, and perfect. So you are to find out which one of these words does not match with audible. Is it volume, sound, ears, or perfect? So that's the one you'd highlight, whichever one does not go with that. There's only one answer for each of these. The next one that people had question about was what's the word? And in this one, you need to fill in the blank. They give you a definition. You need to tell them what the word is. Those words are not the 5 words on page 1. They are 5 different words using that root. So you need to figure out what those 5 different words are. To examine something carefully for accuracy with the intent to verify, there's a word that means that. If you had been in class today, you'd know the word. So please make sure that you are paying close attention to those two sections because they are kind of a little bit different from the one that you had last week to do. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I have any more to go over with you today. You should still be reading for 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And as usual, 2 iReady lessons a week should be completed and passed without exception. I hope to see you all in class on Thursday. If you have any questions today or Wednesday, you can always email me and I will be happy to help you. So until then, T2 out.